and welcome to That Movie Show, where we review weird and wonderful movies from the box office to Netflix and everywhere in between. My name is Jason.
And I'm Kelly.
Tonight, Colin Farrell and Rachel Weisz team up in Yorgos Lanthimos's dystopian sci-fi romantic thriller, The Lobster.
Also, a romantic comedy about a relationship at crossroads in Happy Anniversary.
And Natalie Portman plays a biologist and former soldier in the tense and freaky sci-fi Annihilation.
But first up, a quickie romantic comedy about a relationship at crossroads after 3 years in Happy Anniversary.
Love. It's the meaning of life. It's powerful, magical, and wonderful. Until it's not.
I'm not happy.
What? Okay, so tell me what's wrong.
I don't know, I missed the person that I met 3 years ago. That guy was romantic.
Romantic. You're pissing in front of me.
Yeah, I'm staying hydrated. You should be happy for me. Well, I'm a vegetarian. Oh, except I eat fish. And pepperoni on pizza, because that doesn't count. Mr. Wolfington, attorney at dog.
He's a lawyer?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Happy Anniversary is a comedy about a relationship on the brink of imploding. It's Sam and Molly's 3-year anniversary, and they need to decide whether to stay together or go their separate ways. The story is told over the course of a single day, with heaps of flashbacks showing how they arrived at this point.
Because, yeah, it could hurt, but you're never gonna know unless you jump off the ledge.
You are so worried about everybody else that you don't give a shit about the one person that's supposed to matter most. Well, that's so nice, Sam, but when's the last time a cabbie gave you a blowjob?
Does an Uber driver count?
That's not fun. I'm not laughing.
It is kind of funny.
You loved him.
So?
You're just gonna lay here and let him go?
Stop punishing yourself. Find something simpler.
Maybe Molly and I are just too different. Like, I see the glass of water as half full. She sees the water as poison.
You don't understand how much pressure there is for me. It was easy for you.
I don't want to have a baby when I'm an old man who can't pick up his fucking kid.
I could think of nothing you would love more than not having to carry your baby.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Written and directed by Jared Stern, starring Noah Wells and Ben Schwartz. I loved Happy Anniversary. This movie did not disappoint. I found it raw, witty, and awkward from the start. I think we see so many breakup movies and so many movies about people falling in love, and this just was completely different. You know, it was at a point in their relationship where they were both questioning, you know, what was going on. More so Noah Wells, played by Molly. And I think it resonates with a lot of people's angst in relationships.
Yes.
What is happy and am I happy, and what defines that?
I think a lot of people go through that as well.
Definitely.
In everyday society, in their relationships.
More so today, I think, where we have so many distractions and so much choice out there in the relationship world. I didn't love it as much as Mr. Roosevelt, that was starred and directed and written by Noah Wells, but I thought it was a great second major film for her. What did you think, Jason?
Well, listen, I wouldn't call myself a big fan of the rom-com genre, but this film I liked, and it made me think: are anniversaries just a day, or are they supposed to be something a bit more special? I thought the film captured all the quirks and the petty arguments and those cute little games that develop over time with couples. I think it captured that quite well.
It was cute.
It was. And because Sam, played by Ben Schwartz, is so lovely and accommodating towards Molly, it was hard for me to sympathise for her.
It was, yeah. Molly's character was very selfish and indecisive, and it made you want to hate her.
Yes, it did. And for a part of the film, I actually did. Her whole crisis revolved around the question, is good enough good enough? And I found that a little bit grating and slightly annoying, because she had something so lovely in front of her, but she couldn't see it.
Yeah.
But that's life. Sometimes we don't know something great, even if it's standing right in front of our face.
Very true.
I thought it was awesome to see Kristen Bauer von Straten pop up in this film. Viewers, you may remember her. She played the vampire Pam in True Blood. And she plays Willa, the fashion buyer.
Great character.
Great character. It was awesome to see her again, and she plays that sharp-witted, cold ice queen so well. And it was just a treat to see her, and I hope I see her in more films coming up.
That would be good.
So Happy Anniversary, I found it quite fun, it was witty, it was well placed, and a delight to watch. I give it 3.5 stars.
I give it 4 stars.
It's not called gently reclining in love, it's called falling in love. Because yeah, it could hurt, but you're never gonna know unless you jump off the ledge.
You are so worried about everybody else that you don't give a shit about the one person that's supposed to matter most. Well, that's so nice, Sam. But when's the last time a cabbie gave you a blowjob?
Does an Uber driver count?
That's not fun. I'm not laughing.
It is kind of funny.
You loved him.
So?
You're just gonna lay here and let him go?
Happy Anniversary is currently screening on Netflix. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back after the break with The Lobster. Welcome back to That Movie Show. Our next film is an absurdist, dystopian, black comedy love story based in the near future called The Lobster.
Have you ever been on your own before?
No, never.
Your last relationship lasted how many years?
Around 12.
Sexual preference?
Women. Is there a bisexual option available?
No, sir, this option is no longer available. And the dog?
My brother, he was here a couple of years ago, but he didn't make it.
Did you read the leaflet?
Yes, I did.
As you understand from your brother's experience,
If you fail to fall in love with someone during your stay here, you'll turn into an animal.
Have you ever danced with anybody? Yes.
As an animal, you'll have a second chance to find a companion.
What sort of dancing did you do?
Just depends on the music.
Mind if I join you?
It's no coincidence that the targets are shaped like single people and not couples.
The Lobster is a sci-fi romantic thriller set in a dystopian near future where the government rounds up single people and transfers them to a creepy seaside hotel just outside the main city. While staying at the hotel as a guest, they are obliged to find a matching mate within 45 days. If they fail, they are transformed into an animal of their choice and released into the wild or into the care of their families or loved ones.
Any romantic or sexual relations are punished.
We have to be totally synchronized. 3, 2. You're like a brother to me. Oh, you're my best friend in the whole world.
I don't think I'm your best friend in the whole world.
Now, have you thought of what animal you'd like to be if you end up alone?
Yes, a lobster.
A lobster is an excellent choice. If you encounter any problems you cannot resolve yourselves, you will be assigned children. That usually helps.
Co-written and directed by Greek filmmaker Yorgos Lanthimos and starring Colin Farrell, Rachel Weisz, Ben Whishaw and John C. Reilly. Kelly, I found The Lobster to be a film like I've never seen before, to be honest.
Tell me about it.
The whole idea, if you can't find someone to be in a relationship, you'll get turned into an animal, is just truly crazy. And I think Lanthimos, he's done well in creating this jarring, unsettling world where people must be coupled up at all costs. I found it interesting how in this world that people seem to be defined by one characteristic, such as a nice smile, a lisp,
Good hair.
good hair, or having hair,
Yep.
or a bloody nose. You know, to think love can bloom from one commonality is just so ridiculous and absurd. But this is the world that is portrayed by Lanthimos, and he does it with such panache. You know, Colin Farrell, he really piled on the pounds for this film, and his moustache that just sits on top of his lip, it's like a leech that just sucks all the sex appeal out of his face. But you know, Colin's work in this film is just mesmerising.
Yep.
You know, the cinematography is fantastic. I think they did a standout job. And the juxtapositioning between the scenes and the music score was just excellent. You know, that eerie French soundtrack coupled with slow motion hunting scenes, you know.
I loved it, yeah.
It was great.
It was great.
And, you know, what I found so provocative is what this film says about society's need for people to be in relationships at all costs. You know, like it's the most important thing in the world. So important that it's worth sacrificing your inner happiness. You know, that's you know, quite scary for me. You know, I found The Lobster to be a fabulous film. It was absurd, it was thought-provoking, and, you know, despite a few holes in the narrative, it is a definite must-see. Kellie.
Yeah, look, I agree. I absolutely loved it. From the concept to the cast, I think we rarely see a fresh new plot that hasn't been rehashed or remade, and The Lobster definitely delivers that. The cast worked for me really well, although I thought it was a somewhat odd group of people.
Yes, indeed.
John C. Reilly was brilliant. We normally see him in comedies
Teamed up with Will
alongside,
Ferrell,
definitely,
yes,
Talladega Nights.
Yes.
Colin Farrell, as you said, stole the show. Wouldn't have been able to portray that character, I think, any more than the 40 pounds he put on or something like that. Rachel Weisz's narrative, that emotionless, monotonal narrative that she does, you know, throughout the whole movie, we don't even know her as a character until halfway through. That just echoes the theme of the whole movie. It's somewhat unnerving, as you said. It's all meant to jar us and make us react in some way. What really stayed with me was the complete lack of emotion and compassion that everybody just held throughout the whole movie. It was done in such a clinical setting that we're supposed to find love in 2 days, and you know, as you said, the smallest commonality brings people together, like you know, both having blood noses or both being short-sighted.
Yes, yes.
I don't understand how this wasn't a bigger hit, although it was made in 2014. Don't understand why it wasn't nominated for awards, but it's definitely a must-see if the viewers haven't seen it yet. I give The Lobster 5 stars.
Yeah, I give Lobster 4.5 stars.
Did you catch rabbits? Catching a rabbit is difficult.
Thank you very much.
If you need more rabbits, I'll bring you more.
You promise?
You can be a loner as long as you like. There is no time limit. Any romantic or sexual relations are punished.
We have to be totally synchronized. 3, 2. You're like a brother to me. Oh, you're my best friend in the whole world.
I don't think I'm your best friend in the whole world.
The Lobster is currently screening on Netflix. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break with Annihilation. Hello and welcome back to That Movie Show. Our next film is the intellectual and mythological sci-fi Annihilation.
Can you describe its form?
No.
Start from the beginning.
What do you think I do when you're away?
You think I'm out in the garden pining, looking up at the sky?
Why aren't you here?
I gotta leave a day early.
Your husband's here. Annihilation follows Lena, a biologist and former soldier, as she joins a military expedition to enter the Shimmer, a sinister and mysterious phenomenon expanding across the American coastline. Once inside, they discover a world of mutated landscapes and dangerous creatures that threaten both their lives and sanity.
He served in the military.
If I knew what happened, I could save his life.
The boundary's getting bigger, it's expanding. We're talking cities, states.
You need to know what's inside. So do I.
It's beautiful.
Check this out.
It's like they're stuck in a continuous mutation.
Anything interesting in there?
No.
Sharks have teeth like that.
It's not possible. You can't crossbreed different species.
What is it?
The soldiers on the last expedition.
They went crazy, or something in here killed them.
Something's come through the fence. Through the fence?
We have to go back.
I can't go back.
We can camp here tonight. It's destroying everything.
It's not destroying. It's making something new.
Alex Garland directed the film and adapted the screenplay from Jeff Vandermeer's novel of the same name, starring Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Gina Rodriguez. Annihilation, another original plot, although I'm not much of a sci-fi fan, as you know, but it seems like every book I go to read now has already been made into a movie. Annihilation is no different from that. It's the first of a set of three, a trilogy called the Southern Reach trilogy, written by Jeff Vandermeer, as we said, in 2014, followed by the second book, Authority and Acceptance. I really hope that we get to see the other two books, because for me, Annihilation just left me with a lot of holes and a lot of unknowns at the end.
Which is, I think, deliberate.
No
like
doubt.
Like you said, there's 2 more books, so I'm thinking there's going to be maybe 2 more films.
We can only hope, because Authority and Acceptance, the names alone really give us a sense of what those films are going to be about, following on from that first Annihilation. I did have high hopes for this, as I did say, not a great sci-fi fan. I enjoyed it, but I did think it had quite a few holes. Fairly good cast. I really enjoyed seeing Natalie Portman in this. And Gina Rodriguez, I thought she gave another star performance.
Definitely, yep.
I did find Jennifer Jason Leigh, though, to be the typical typecast role that she always plays.
She was quintessentially herself.
Quintessentially herself, definitely.
Yeah.
Have to agree with that.
Yeah.
It was really pretty to watch. You know, the special effects, just added to it. Jason, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought the movie about entering the unknown, a lot of sci-fi films try and tap into that, like such as Alien Worlds, but I think Annihilation has done it in a subtly new light.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It's about, encountering the uncanny. But I think the film's also about human motivation. What drives us to venture off into uncertainty? Is it heroism? Is it scientific curiosity? Or can it be something much darker? I found that Garland's follow-up to his directional debut of Ex Machina, I found that Annihilation favours suspense over flashy pyrotechnics. I enjoyed how Annihilation, how it's a non-linear storytelling, how it's I won't give away any spoilers, but it switches back and forward, and I love that sort of thing, because it makes you keep thinking. You're forced to think and try and work out what's going on. Like as a viewer, everything's not spoon-fed to you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of Hollywood films these days, they like to force feed you in a way, and you don't have to think about the plot or the characterizations or the development of the story. And I like films that make me think.
Yeah.
Just like you said, Natalie Portman, love seeing her in this. I think she did such a great performance as Lena. Personally, I love seeing Jennifer Jason Leigh in this. Like I said, it was quintessentially her.
Seems like they dusted her off and put her back in. We haven't seen her for so long.
Plopped her in. But I liked how she portrayed that fidgety psychologist. Once again, it just tied in with the characters that she plays in other films. But personally, I love her as an actress, so I'm used to her portraying that same character, so I was fine with it.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I think The Shimmer feels so eerily real is because of how the actors were reacting to it. They did such a great job on set. reacting to all, once again, can't give away any spoilers, but I think they did such a believable, compelling job of mixing that curiosity and fascination, and with that increasing unease, throughout their mission in the Shimmer. I also liked how once the characters were inside exploring the Shimmer, it was like their characters' individual flaws were somehow magnified. It was like a bit of an unraveling, and it was like a distorted psychological hall of mirrors in some ways, and I think all the characters, they did well in that regard.
They were quite rich and deep as well.
Yes, definitely. I found Annihilation to be quite a startling audiovisual journey, and it will leave you asking questions well beyond when the credits rolled, and that's why I loved it so much, and that's why I'm going to give Annihilation 5 stars.
Well, I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, so I'm giving it 3 stars.
We've sent in drones and teams of people, but nothing comes back.
But something has.
You're a biologist. You served in the military.
If I knew what happened, I could save his life.
The boundary's getting bigger, it's expanding. We're talking cities, states.
You need to know what's inside. So do I.
It's beautiful.
Check this out.
It's like they're stuck in a continuous mutation.
Anything interesting in there?
No.
Annihilation is currently screening on Netflix. Well, that's all we have time for today, unfortunately. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. Next week, we'll be back with movies that have been remade and rehashed.
And we'll be the judge if they're good or not.
We'll see you then. Thank you.
See you next week. Bye.